A young black woman, radiating quiet confidence, settled into her first-class seat. The cabin buzzed with the low hum of pre-flight preparations, a world of polished chrome and plush leather. As she requested a simple glass of water, the pilot, passing through the cabin, shot her a dismissive glance. The tension was subtle, a flicker of annoyance in his eyes, but it was there, a precursor to the storm about to break. A few moments later, a minor disagreement over her carry-on luggage escalated with shocking speed. The pilot, his face contorted with impatience, returned to her seat. His voice, loud and laced with authority, boomed through the quiet cabin. "People like you think you can just do whatever you want, don't you?" Before she could even process his words, his hand flew, and a sharp, stinging slap echoed through the air. Gasps rippled through first class. Passengers stared, their faces a mixture of disbelief and horror. The flight attendants froze, their professional smiles wiped clean, replaced by wide-eyed shock. The pilot, breathing heavily, seemed to realize he had gone too far, but his arrogance masked any immediate regret. He stood over her, a self-righteous glare on his face, completely oblivious to the monumental mistake he had just made. The girl, however, simply touched her cheek, her expression unreadable. What no one on that plane knew was that this young woman wasn't just another passenger. In a quick flashback, we see her not in a luxury seat, but in a high-tech office, signing documents that controlled billions. She was the airline's silent majority shareholder, the invisible force behind its success. On her laptop, we see her approving massive fleet acquisitions and reviewing quarterly reports. Her power was immense, yet she moved through the world without fanfare, preferring anonymity over ostentation. She had invested in this airline not just for profit, but because she believed in its potential for excellence. Back on the plane, the atmosphere was thick with unspoken words. Whispers spread like wildfire. "Did you see that? He just hit her." The flight attendants exchanged panicked glances, unsure of the protocol for a pilot assaulting a first-class passenger. The pilot himself began to feel a prickle of unease. The woman's composure was unnerving. She wasn't crying or screaming. She was simply sitting there, her gaze fixed, a chilling calmness about her that was far more menacing than any outburst could have been. Her mind was a whirlwind of controlled fury. His condescending tone, a public humiliation, the physical strike, it all coalesced into a single resolute thought. This would not stand. She pulled out her phone, her fingers moving swiftly across the screen. A single encrypted message was sent. On the other end, an emergency board meeting was being summoned. The pilot, still puffed up with his own importance, had no idea that his career was hanging by the thinnest of threads, a thread she was about to sever. As soon as the plane touched down, the drama unfolded. A fleet of black cars was waiting on the tarmac, a sight that caused a stir among the disembarking passengers. The airline's CEO and the entire executive board stood grim-faced by the jet bridge. The pilot, spotting them, assumed they were there for a routine inspection and straightened his uniform, ready to greet them. But they weren't looking at him. Their eyes were fixed on the young woman who stepped calmly out of the first-class cabin. She walked directly to the CEO, who bowed his head slightly. "Ms. Anya," he said, his voice trembling. "We came as soon as we got your message." "We are so sorry." The pilot's jaw dropped. The color drained from his face as the reality of the situation crashed down on him. Ms. Anya. The name was whispered among the board members, a name synonymous with power and influence. He had just assaulted the owner of the airline. Anya turned her cool, steady gaze on him. "Your name," she stated, her voice even but carrying the weight of absolute authority. He stammered, barely able to speak. "For your unprofessional conduct, your flagrant abuse of power, and for assaulting a passenger me, you are fired. Effective immediately. Security will escort you from the premises." The pilot stood frozen, his world collapsing around him. The other passengers who have lingered to watch the spectacle broke into quiet applause. Justice was swift, public, and undeniably satisfying. Security guards stepped forward and gently but firmly led the disgraced pilot away, his head hung in shame. Anya watched him go, her expression unchanged. She had not raised her voice, had not shed a tear. Her power was not in histrionics, but in decisive, impactful action. The airline staff, from the flight attendants to the CEO, had learned a powerful lesson that day about respect, humility, and the danger of judging a book by its cover. Later, as a new flight prepared for takeoff, Anya sat back in her first-class seat, the same one where she had been humiliated just hours before. She took a calm sip of her water, the victor in a battle she never sought, but was more than equipped to win. The scene fades with a simple truth resonating in the air. Never, ever underestimate someone based on what you think you see. True power is often silent, and its judgment, when provoked, is absolute. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe for more stories like this.